History of war for petroleum. Why oil matters. Petroleum became one of the most valuable resources in human history because it powers modern economies and militaries. By the early 20th century, oil was essential for ships, tanks, airplanes, industry, and later for electricity, plastics, and transportation. Control over oil meant economic power, military strength, and geopolitical influence. As a result, oil has been a central, sometimes hidden, cause of many major wars and conflicts. Early 20th century, oil enters warfare. Before World War I, coal powered most militaries. This changed rapidly when navies, especially Britain's Royal Navy under Winston Churchill, shifted from coal to oil. Oil-powered ships were faster, more efficient, and had greater range, but oil supplies were scarce in Europe. Britain's investment in Persian, Iranian, oil led to deep involvement in the Middle East. The collapse of the Ottoman Empire after World War I allowed European powers to redraw borders in oil-rich regions like Iraq and Kuwait, often ignoring ethnic or historical realities. Oil didn't cause World War I on its own, but it reshaped post-war geopolitics and laid the groundwork for future conflicts. World War II. Oil as a strategic target. World War II was the first truly oil-driven global war. Nazi Germany lacked domestic oil and depended on imports from Romania. One of Hitler's main goals in invading the Soviet Union was to seize the oil fields of the Caucasus, Baku. Japan, heavily dependent on imported oil, faced U.S. oil embargoes in 1941. This directly contributed to Japan's decision to attack Pearl Harbor and seize oil-rich territories in Southeast Asia. The Allied bombing of oil refineries and supply lines crippled Axis military operations. Victory often went to the side with better access to petroleum and the ability to deny it to enemies. Cold War era, oil and proxy conflicts. After World War II, oil became central to Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. Middle East power struggles. In 1953, the US and Britain supported a coup in Iran after Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh nationalized Iranian oil. The Arab-Israeli conflicts were deeply tied to oil politics, especially after Arab states used oil embargoes as political weapons. The 1973 OPEC oil embargo showed how petroleum could be used without bullets, crippling Western economies and reshaping global energy policy. Oil-producing states gained new leverage, while superpowers worked to secure friendly regimes in key regions. The Gulf Wars. Oil in plain sight. Oil was an explicit factor in the 1990–1991 Gulf War. Iraq, under Saddam Hussein, invaded Kuwait, accusing it of stealing oil and threatening Iraqi economic survival. Kuwait's vast oil reserves made the invasion intolerable to the US and its allies. The war aimed not only to expel Iraqi forces but also to protect global oil supplies. The US maintained a strong military presence in the Persian Gulf afterward, largely to safeguard energy routes. The Iraq War, 2003, oil and controversy. The 2003 US-led invasion of Iraq was officially justified by claims of weapons of mass destruction and terrorism. However, oil played a major underlying role. Iraq possessed one of the world's largest proven oil reserves. Control over oil infrastructure became a priority during and after the invasion. The war destabilized the region, leading to long-term conflict and debates over whether petroleum interests outweighed humanitarian or security concerns. This war solidified public awareness of oil as a hidden driver of modern conflict. Africa and oil conflicts. Oil has also fueled wars outside the Middle East. In Nigeria, oil wealth intensified corruption, environmental destruction, and violence in the Niger Delta. In Sudan and South Sudan, oil revenue deepened civil wars and influenced the eventual partition of the country. Foreign corporations and governments often backed factions that ensured continued oil access. Here, oil didn't just cause interstate wars, it amplified internal conflicts. The modern era, oil, power, and transition. Today, oil remains critical, but its role in warfare is evolving. Conflicts in Libya, Syria, and Ukraine involve oil and gas infrastructure as strategic targets. Control over pipelines, refineries, and shipping lanes remains militarily significant. At the same time, climate change and renewable energy are slowly reducing oil's dominance, though not yet ending petroleum-driven conflict. Some analysts argue future wars may be fought over water, rare minerals, or lithium, but oil still shapes global power. Conclusion: petroleum has not been the sole cause of wars, but it has intensified rivalries, shaped strategies, and influenced outcomes for over a century. From world wars to regional conflicts, oil has tied energy security to military force. Understanding the history of war for petroleum helps explain modern geopolitics and why the transition away from fossil fuels is not just environmental, but political and strategic.